The next topic is decimals. What is a decimal? A decimal is a number with a whole and a fractional part. For example, some numbers are given where this 648 is a whole part and 0.57807 is a decimal or fractional part. Similarly, for this number 9 is a whole part and 6.6375 is a fractional part. There are two types of decimals. The first is terminating. The decimal which has a finite number of digits is known as a terminating decimal. For example, 6.709, 0.25, 0.000752. The second type is non-terminating. The decimal which has an infinite number of digits is known as non-terminating decimal. For example, 3.141592654 and so on. And this is 0.33333 and so on, and 0.678532 and so on. Non-terminating decimals are further divided into two categories. The first is recurring decimals. The decimal numbers which keeps on repeating their values after decimal point, known as recurring decimals. Dot notation is used with recurring decimals. The dot above the number shows which number recur. For example, 0.3 dot, that means 3 will be recur. So 0.3333 and so on. 0.5 dot 7 dot, which means this 57 will be recurring. So 0.575757 and so on. Second category is non-recurring decimals. A non-recurring decimal is a decimal number that never ends and does not repeat any group of digits. For example, the value of pi, which is 3.141592 and so on. We can convert our recurring decimal into a fraction. Now, recurring decimal to fraction. To convert a recurring decimal to fraction, write the number equal to some variable. Use some repeats of recurring decimal here. Keep multiplying the equation by 10 until both equations have same recurring decimal. Then subtract the lesser equation from bigger and then simplify. Here I have an examination tip for you. Practice converting fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions. So, worked example for converting recurring decimal to fraction. Write the recurring decimal 0.23 recurring as a fraction in its simplest form. Now 0.23 dot means 0.232323 and so on. Use a variable to represent this number. So let's say we use x. So x equals 0.232323 and so on. Now multiply both sides by 100 to get another number with the same recurring decimal part. It will be 100x equals 23.232323 and so on. Now subtract the two equations to cancel out the recurring decimal parts. So 100x equals 23.2323 and so on. and x equals 0.2323 and so on. So now we just subtract this equation from this. So it will be 100x minus x equals 99x equals, this recurring part will be cancelled, and 23 minus 0 equals 23. Now divide both sides by 99. It will be x equals 23 over 99. To verify your answer, type the fraction in your calculator and change it to a decimal. So 23 over 99 equals 0.23 recurring. Now we have an exercise for you to solve to test yourself. Question number 1 is, write the recurring decimal 0.17 dot as a fraction in its simplest form, and you must show all your working. It's a 1 mark question. Question number 2 is, write the recurring decimal 0.63 recurring as a fraction in its simplest form, and you must show all your working. It's a 1 mark question.